Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name's Ibrahim and I've helped over 1,000 people with their NHS applications. Most people, when they're applying on the NHS Jobs website, get really confused when they get redirected to another website called TRAC Jobs. In this video, we're going to talk about what TRAC Jobs is, how to submit an application successfully through TRAC Jobs, and how to make sure that everything is done properly so that when you apply for the second job, you can also have all your details saved on the system. So, first of all, TRAC is basically a separate system that is preferred by some NHS trusts, and the reason is it links very well into their HR and onboarding systems. So that if you are successful with your job offer, it means that they don't have to use multiple systems, and until your very first day at work, in terms of everything, giving you the letters, giving you any documentation, asking for documentation, everything is done through one system, and that is the reason why TRAC is used um, sort of for some trusts, because they do prefer it behind the scenes. Now,
If you're still watching, then you are going to love our free NHS Jobs Fast Track Guide. It's packed with the tips and secrets we've used for years to help candidates get hired. It's worth £49, but it's now free. Grab it below from the pinned comment.
applicants, when they're applying on NHS jobs, it can be confusing. So you're applying for your first NHS job, or previously when you've applied, it's kept you on NHS jobs. You click apply, and all of a sudden it's taking you to another external website. Don't worry, it's not like a scam or anything like that. It is normal, and some trusts, when you're applying for a lot of jobs, you will understand which trust use it and which don't. But we estimate is roughly 50% of trusts do use TRAC Jobs for the NHS jobs process.
So we're now on the TRAC Jobs homepage. They've got a website, healthjobsuk.com. There's also nhsjobsuk.com. Alternatively, if you've been on NHS Jobs and you've been redirected to a third-party website, this will be the website, healthjobsuk.com or nhsjobsuk.com. But the actual sort of back end of the system is TRAC Jobs. So once you start an application, regardless of whether you've applied directly from this website or whether you've applied from NHS Jobs, the process is exactly the same. So in terms of how you can use this website, you can search by sort of sectors, or you can then just do an employer search. So you can look at certain employers. So for example, in the UK, we can look in Cheshire, and you can look at the NHS trusts here, and then you can list jobs in certain areas, or you can look at jobs in all sectors, which is quite useful. Otherwise, you can go back into the main sort of page and you can just search for jobs. So we could put nurse, for example, search there, and it'll give you all of the vacancies for that job title. So this is quite useful. So once you've done that, that's pretty much the search function of the website. So you can either search from here by sort of job title, or you can then search through here through any sort of search criteria that you've got. If you want to look by employer or by location, just put location in there, or you can scroll through here and you can literally just find here jobs in all sectors, and you can just find jobs like that. But let's just go back to the normal search function, and let's say we know what sector we want to work in. So we'll just put a general search in, no filters there. Obviously you can filter by location or particular occupations within that section, but otherwise let's just do a general job search, and a few jobs have come up here. So let's apply for this job. So when you get the job advert, you've got here, you can also put alerts on by clicking on alert me to similar vacancies, which will then talk you through the whole process of the sort of jobs that you're looking for, and it will send you emails each time a similar job comes up. Otherwise, the job summary is on the left hand side here, and it's got all the information of regarding salary periods. It's all this sort of all this information is here. You've then got the job description here, which is obviously the main duties of the job. And then we have got the job description, responsibilities, person specification, essential criteria. You do really need to be meeting most of this criteria, otherwise your application is probably going to be rejected. So it's worth spending a few minutes at this time to review the person specification to see if you meet the criteria. Otherwise, you can then look at the desirable criteria as well. If you've got these, this is obviously giving you a really good chance of securing the job. But the most important thing is that you meet the essential criteria and that you're happy with the job. With the job description. And then it's got more information about visa sponsorship if you're applying from abroad. It does say for this particular job that this trust welcomes suitably qualified candidates, including those who require a certificate of sponsorship. And it's just got more information there on that particular point. And everything is available to download, such as obviously the job description, standards, the trust brochure, and then we've also got contact details of the senior nurses for this ward, or the recruiting manager, basically. So that's all the information you need to know. We can then start the application. So we literally just click apply now, and then it just goes through the criteria. So it's got some questions to start with. If you're already in the UK, you can put I'm a British citizen. If you're not a citizenship, if you've got indefinite leave to remain, you can put that in. If you're on a current skilled worker or a health and care worker visa, you can put that in. Or if you're abroad at the moment, you put that you've not got the right to work in the UK. In this particular section, just fill this out. It's not important at this point. It's more important just so that they know sort of who's applying for the job. So yeah, just fill that section out, and that covers most people's circumstances. Otherwise, there is a free text box at the bottom, and it's very simple. So it's literally, I love the format of this website. So it's got personal details, where you can start the section, and then it's just got literally just your personal details that you fill out, relationships, etc., etc. This is quite good because the thing is that once it's completed, you can mark the whole section as complete. And once you've done one application, the personal details will be kept on profile for you. So that makes it a lot easier when you're applying again. Application questions. So this section is obviously the supporting information, what you see on the normal NHS form. It's the most important section. This section, you need to realistically, so if you go on to open further questions here, sorry, let's just load it up here. Further questions, if I cancel out of this bit. This is regarding these are really some extra questions. This is quite a long application, but let's just go on to the person specification. So essentially, we've got another video on how to structure the supporting information or the person specification, but essentially you need to demonstrate, like they've exactly told you here, how you meet the essential and desirable criteria for this particular post. In some jobs, when you're applying for them, it will put it out as a whole, where you just have a free form person specification. In this particular section, in this particular job, they've asked for it by sort of criteria by criteria. So literally just answer the questions. We've got sort of a little bit more information in our video on how to structure the supporting information, where we sort of go through a live case and we structure that supporting information with you, and we will try to link that in the comment section at some point. But essentially that's that. That is that part of the application. And then we've got the references section. Obviously, you put your references in. If you're currently working for an employer and you don't want them to know you're applying for the job, it's not too big of a deal at this point in time, because you will normally only be asked, they will normally only check the references once you've been offered the job. You then fill in the equal opportunity section, and you can view and download your application, which is quite useful if you want to sort of get someone to read it through, or you want to read it through yourself in a few hours' time with a fresh mind. Read through the application. Once you're happy with it, you can then press this button. It won't let you submit, obviously, until you've done all the sections. You click the submit button, and that will submit your application.
Quick pause before we continue. I want to show you a brand new tool I built that will seriously make your NHS job search faster, easier, and way less stressful. Let me show you how you can apply for an NHS job and prepare for the interview in under 60 seconds. First, I complete my profile so the tool understands exactly who I am. Now let's apply to an NHS job together. I search for a role, choose this one and copy the person specification and job description. I then paste this into the generator, and just like that, there it is. A fully tailored, personalized, role-specific supporting information section created automatically. Now I'm going to prep for the interview. I generate intelligent interview questions using the Smart Assistant, type in my answers and instantly receive feedback on how to improve them. After that, I revise using flashcards. I simply paste in the job description and the tool generates custom flashcards so I can start practicing straight away. Finally, I add the job to my tracker to keep everything organized. A process that normally takes hours, now done in minutes. If you want access, email info@healthhireuk.com to get started. So once you've sort of completed your application, all the sections should have changed color. You will get a notification that each section has been completed. A good sort of tip at this point is to download the application by just literally clicking the print button and then just print it as a PDF. Download the application, review it yourself in a few hours time, just so you can have a quick look over it, make sure you've not made any silly errors. Otherwise, it might be a good idea just to send it over to a friend or someone else who can read it over, because sometimes we get so bogged down into an application, we've made some errors that we've not realized. So the best way to do it is to not submit the application straight after you've completed it. Make sure you've saved everything, download it all, and then in a few hours time, once you've sort of double checked it or you've had someone else look over it, then at that point you can submit the application. You should receive on-screen confirmation and then an email also to confirm that you've applied for the job, and you can review the progress in the dashboard. So there is a dashboard section where there will be updates. So if you've been shortlisted for interview, so initially it will say submitted because you've submitted the application. If you've been shortlisted, you'll get a notification to say you've been shortlisted, and then so on and so forth, interview schedule, etc., etc. And hopefully for you, you will have job offer accepted, and all of that will also be done through TRAC Jobs, and that is why it's used by a lot of NHS trusts. And that's pretty much it. So if you've watched our videos on NHS Jobs, you've watched our videos on NHS Scotland Jobs, TRAC really is, again, very similar to all of these. It's very similar. You just need to make sure you create an account, you follow all the steps, and the most important thing is to always review your application before submitting it. If you've found this video useful, please do like this video and do consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. We built Health Hire to make NHS applications so much easier, from writing your supporting information tailored for each role to practicing real interview questions with feedback. It's all here. Grab lifetime access for just £70 and start applying with confidence. Email us at info@healthhireuk.com.